guys. I wanted to do this video because for those of you that know what I just did, I just went through a whole growing my own butterfly process, and it was such a cool experience, and I actually learned so many life lessons that I thought about doing a little video to share with you guys, things that I learned in this past 2 weeks that have really opened my eyes and helped me understand that I'm on the right track. I'm a very visual learner, so for me, I learned the biggest life lessons through the smallest little things, and it's funny because I have been, for the past few years, it hasn't been for a long time, but for the past few years, I've been very intrigued by butterflies. I like the whole process. I like the whole symbolism of change and seasons, and I just thought it was very cool. So when I saw Amanda Perez, Amanda and I went to high school together, and she was growing butterflies, and I was like, where did you get that? I need that. And honestly, it's crazy how, I was meant to do this. Well, not like be a butterfly grower, but just I was meant to, at this time was meant for me. And so I split up, I got my butterflies, and I split up the process of the butterflies that I'm gonna explain to you guys, but I'm gonna relate it to messages that I've learned throughout this whole experience, and things that I took away from the whole process, and that I thought that I might as well share it with someone. I feel like we're all at a point where, if you follow me in this page, it's because you like seeing motivational things. You like seeing things that will push you to be the best version of yourself, and that's the environment that I'm trying to create in this page. And so I split up the whole process into 5 phases. I have some notes so I don't lose track, but I split up the process in 5 phases, and these are the phases that the caterpillar goes through to become a butterfly. Because if you don't know already, if you didn't go to kindergarten, butterflies don't just they're not born butterflies. They're little worms, little eggs, little worms, caterpillars, crystallize, and then they became butterflies. So I want to break it down into 5 different phases, and share with you guys things that I've learned, because it's like I said, it's crazy how the smallest little things can teach us the biggest life lessons. And for me, it really helped me to see where I am right now and where I want to be. And so I'm gonna jump right into it. Okay, so when a caterpillar is when I first got my caterpillars, they were little worms, obviously. And it's funny because I posted a picture and everybody kept asking me, they're like, what is that? Like, why do you have bugs? And I'm like, you have no idea what they're gonna be. So why are you judging, So it's funny because that first phase of a caterpillar, its main responsibility is to eat and get the nutrients and explore its environment and, really find its place to be able to, transform into this, I don't know, I'm gonna call it cocoon because I don't know how to pronounce that word. So, the first phase had really showed me that everything that I want to become in my life, I need to step up and I need to do the things that I need to do. I feel like sometimes a lot of us, we want so much. I want so much for my life, and I feel like I have my dreams and my hopes and my wants and my drive. Like I have the drive to do it. I have the want. There's things that I know that I want to do with my life, and there's things that I know I want to accomplish. But sometimes I feel like I put it in this little box and I leave it there, and I'm like waiting for it to just magically happen. And so this phase 1 was actually the biggest slap to the face that I could have gotten, because I was like, what am I actively doing to reach these goals that I say that I want so bad, Luckily, right now, not luckily, but thank God, right now I'm in a place in my life where I'm ready to take steps towards becoming the person that I want to be for the rest of my life, and the career path that I want to take for the rest of my life. I feel like I've you know, done certain things to get to where I am. I'm not saying that I've not done anything. I've done a lot of things, and I'm very proud of myself. And sometimes I beat myself up too much and, you know, say like, oh, like I didn't do this, or this went wrong. If this wouldn't have happened to me, I would have been here, you know. And, you know, this caterpillar underwent shipping and all these things, and it's in a little house that men made to watch, you know, allow me to watch it grow, but it's not its natural habitat. But in a way, it's still adjusted, you know, it's still adjusted, and it still did everything that it had to do for it to get the nutrients that it needed, and, you know, it got things done, you know. And so I ask myself all the time, I'm like, what am I actively doing right now to get to these goals that I want? What am I actively doing to be the person that I want to be, you know? And I think that that was one of the biggest lessons that I learned, which brings me to phase 2, because it's crazy, because the caterpillar, once it's already gotten all the nutrients, it's gonna stop eating, and it's going to find the perfect place, which is usually an isolated place at the top, you know. I'm guessing for caterpillars, you know, to avoid predators, they try to find somewhere high, and they hang to start the whole transformation process of becoming a cocoon. So what's crazy about this part, and it's actually my favorite part of this entire process, I'm pretty sure I already said that the other part was my favorite part, but they're all my favorite parts. It's just such an amazing experience. But my favorite part of all of this was that the caterpillar hung upside down, but head first. So, you know, at that second, I was just like, wow, like this is God talking to me. I don't know what you believe in. I'm not here to force anybody to believe in anything. You know, I speak from experience because this is the way I live my life and my beliefs. And so for me, you know, that was a moment that I needed, because sometimes I hold myself, and I'm trying not to cry, but I am such an emotional person. But, you know, sometimes I hold myself back from a lot of things that I want to do, because I'm afraid. And I'm afraid not even of what people think about me, because I don't, yeah, I mean, I'm human and we all care about what people think, but I think more I'm afraid of failure, or because of past experiences, I'm afraid of you know, not doing something right, or is this what I really want, or is this path the one that I really want to take? Like, I overanalyze so many things, and, you know, phase 2 of hanging upside down really showed me that it comes to a point where if you're doing everything you need to do to succeed, or to be this person that you want to be, you know, it comes to a point where you did your part, and you have to fall back and just trust me. In my experience, trust God, that He has the perfect plan for my life. You know, that's one of my biggest things. One of my biggest flaws is trusting, you know, myself, you know, trusting God. In the back of my head, I know God wants the best for me, but sometimes I doubt myself, you know, and I doubt Him. You know, we say we trust God, or we say that we trust ourselves, or the universe, whatever you want to believe in, but sometimes we don't, and we hold ourselves back a lot. And even myself, you know, besides from God, I doubt myself so much sometimes, and it has stopped me from a lot, and I'm tired of that, and I'm tired of not trusting in my abilities, and in the person who I am, and what I've learned. You know, I have a career, like, I cannot doubt myself. And so this whole process of hanging upside down, and just, you know, allowing which is like jumping into phase 3 of building that protective layer, is trusting that you did what you had to do. If you do phase one correctly, and you do everything that you have to do to reach that goal, then all you have left to do is just trust. Trust that things will fall into place, because things always fall into place, whether it's how we wanted it or how it was supposed to be. I am a strong believer that absolutely everything happens for a reason, and sometimes it's very hard to accept that. And it's been hard for me to accept a lot of things in my life, but it is what it is, and it was beautiful to see that. It was beautiful to see that caterpillar just hang upside down. I'm like, this little guy is hanging by a thread, and he's just hanging there, head first. So that was very, very, very cool to see. And then we go into phase 3 of building the protective layer. So that once the caterpillar starts hanging, it starts building this protective layer around it. I don't even know how it happens, because I tried sitting there watching it, but it takes too long. But you watch videos on it, but it completely transforms, and it builds this shield to protect itself, and protect the transformation that the little worm is going through inside of the cocoon. So it was just another, every single process was just so beautiful to watch, because it taught each step of this little caterpillar to turn into a butterfly was so beautiful. And the time where it builds this layer around it, I was like, wow, this is another way of God talking to me that I need to be careful about my surroundings. I need to be careful about who I spend my time with, who I give my energy to. I think regardless of anything that you believe in, people can be bad sometimes, and people can be toxic. People can be not good for you, and that doesn't mean that they're bad people. But I think that when you're in a process of becoming the best version of yourself, or becoming successful in a career, or just anything positive, you really need to build a protective layer. And by a protective layer, I don't mean exclude everybody from your life and just do you and be invincible, because I don't believe in that either. And I don't believe that, I've always said it, which I don't even know why I said it, because I'm not even where I want to be. But I always think being at the top would be very lonely if you don't have somebody to share it with, And if you don't have a foundation of people that help you and build you up, having good friends. I'm at a point in my life where I don't have room for bad friends. I don't have room for negative people. I don't have room for people that try to bring me down. I don't have room for people who are constantly criticizing me. I'm not perfect, and I make a lot of mistakes, and I'm thankful for the people that make me see my mistakes in a positive way. But this whole time, I think, especially for the past 6 months, I think that I've really, really, it's horrible what's going on in the world, but quarantine has really, really isolated me a lot, and really made this time about me and a reflection of who I want, who I'm going to give my energy to once we get out of this, and I think that's important. And I think that I'm being very careful about who I give my time to nowadays. And sometimes it's not even that I don't want to hang out with certain people, but I need to use my time wisely. Sometimes I fall back into not doing the things that I need to do because I'm busy doing something else, something that's not worth my time right now. I think that when you decide that you want to do something with your life, whether it be like me finding my purpose or finding my career path, or having a relationship, there's a time for everything. And for me, right now I'm at a point where, for example, I'm at a point where I'm working towards something, and I need to be selective with who I give my time to, or what I give my time to. So for example, really quick, not that it matters, but I'm not dating right now, for example. And it's not that I don't want to, or I long to have a boyfriend, and I long to, not a boyfriend, I want a husband, and I'm long to, I long things, but I've learned that there's a time for everything, and right now it's my time, and I don't think I've ever prioritized myself, and these are my selfish years, and these are, and I'm not saying forever, not a whole year. I don't know when I'm gonna get back out there, but it's just about building this wall that, not a wall, a shield, a protective shield that I need to be careful who I spend my time with and who I give my energy to, and that just doesn't go just for relationships. That goes for people too. Friendships, some friendships are not, healthy, or just people in general. It's about protecting your peace, and I thought it was very cool. That face of the caterpillar where it's just protecting itself. It's important, and so. Jumping into phase 4 of the caterpillar, the butterfly comes out of the cocoon, and it's another. I feel like a broken record, and I'm such a little girl for it, but I promise you, it's so worth it to see it. And like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm a visual learner, so for me, like, seeing it live in action is like, wow, like, this is life. This is literally life. And seeing this butterfly, when it leaves, when it exits out from the little shell, it stays there. Like, it stays connected to the shell for a while. I would say a couple hours. I remember I saw one come out, and it was staying there for like a good day. I think the whole day it just stayed there, and then it started shedding this ink, which I thought it was blood, but it's not blood. It's ink. Like, it just started shedding things and expanding its wings. It was trying to get strong. I sometimes feel like I'm going up, and once I start feeling good, I start to lose track, and I start to fly too high, and I start to lose track of where I'm heading. I'm being very open because I'm a strong believer in testimony, and my community, my church, my parents, my family, we're very big on experiences, and you can't tell someone how to live their life. It's better to show someone what you've gone through and your take on things than trying to convince somebody to live their life a certain way. And so I'm gonna keep sharing things about me because I'm just like everybody else, and I make mistakes, and I'm just trying to be better, and I'm trying to do better, and I'm trying to be happy, and I'm trying to be successful. And success is not just money. Of course I want money, but my type of success is just like fulfillment of every aspect of my life. And so sometimes I feel like I'm flying high, and I'm going up, and all of a sudden I get way too comfortable, and I lose track, and I like crumble back down, or I just stay there. And it's like this butterfly was showing me that I need to be consistent, just because I'm seeing some, transformation, and this butterfly knows that it's a butterfly already, but it's still taking every precaution that it needs to take before flying out. Because if this butterfly doesn't, stretch its wings the correct way, or if it doesn't, I don't even know. Like, I can't get technical with you. I didn't really get too technical with the butterflies, but I'm sure it's doing a lot of things to make sure that it's ready to fly. And so I think that's important. I think that taking the time, once you see yourself going higher, to keep that consistency is important, and it really showed me that I need to do that, because right now I'm at phase 1 of certain projects or certain things that I want to do with my life, but I've been in other phases in other aspects of my life, in like college or relationships or friendships, and you know, we get too comfortable sometimes, and we don't keep trying to improve or keep trying to, you know, finish, and we get stuck, and or things fall apart. And that's why consistency is so important. And I think that was my biggest lesson of this whole thing is consistency, and being true to myself, and doing, you know, being diligent, and doing the things that I need to do regardless of what's around me, you know. I think that it's beautiful how this little creature, no matter the environment that it was put in, you know, this environment that I created, it was technically man-made, you know. I made this environment for it, but it still adjusted it, and it still went, it fulfilled its purpose because that's what it was meant to do. And I think that's what separates us a little bit from animals, is that, you know, our animals take their toll and they do things like automatically because they don't, you know, they don't have the ability to think like us. And we could either use that as our advantage, or it could destroy us, you know. If we don't take control of our life, then we're gonna live a meaningless life, and an animal probably will have a better life than us, you know. And I think that it comes down to that's what like makes us different from animals, that we have the choice to, you know, even if we fail. Like, for example, some of my butterflies didn't make it. It came with 10 and only 8 of them survived. And partly I think one of them was actually my fault. I think I shaked it a little too much and it died. And that happens with, you know, nature, and I mean humans. It happens with diseases and stuff, and I'm not trying to make this a negative video, but you know, things happen. But for the most part, unless it's like a circumstance that we have no control of, for the most part, we can make amends to anything that we don't like about our life. And you know, over the past few years, one of my biggest pet peeves, and because of, thankfully, like everybody that I'm around in my community and just things that I've witnessed, I hate it when people say that people can't change, because the people that don't change are the people that don't want to change. You know, there's no such thing as people don't change. You can't sit here and tell me that somebody's stuck with a personality or a way of thinking, or unsuccessful because that's just the way that it's supposed to be. No, you know, you have control, you have the reins of your life, you have control of anything that you would want to do in life. And I think that, you know, the people that don't change is because they don't want to change. That's what the quote should be. People don't change if they don't want to change. And you know, sometimes there's things that try to like knock us down, or circumstances that try to get the best of us, and it's crazy. Like, just the other day, my friend and I were talking, and she was like, oh yeah, because I heard that this and this about you from a long time ago. And I'm like, what? Like, it's not even true. And you know, I think a past version of me would have been like, who said that? Like, what do you mean? Like, and like harping over it for a while. But I was just like, who said that? Like, that's not true, because I'm not at that place anymore. You know, I'm not at a place to sit here and try to convince people of who I am. You know, if you want to judge me for who I was at one point in my life, or what I did at one point in my life, which I'm not trying to say that I've done a lot of good things. I'm not a bad person, but I have made mistakes, and I have hurt people, and you know, I'm not perfect, but it's about who I'm trying to become now, and that has to be clear in my head for me to be able to project it to other people, and for other people to believe it about me. You know, I don't have time to sit and harp over things that people might say about me, or you know, or even my own head. I think I've always said I don't care what people think, because I'm too busy thinking about what I care, or what I think about myself. And I am my biggest critique, and I beat myself up sometimes way too much, and that's something that I'm also working on. But I just wanted to share this video because I thought that somebody needed to hear it. You know, we are like butterflies, and if we want to be this beautiful, you know, even if your purpose in life isn't to be like, you know, talking to people or making people feel better, whatever, like even if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, whatever you want to be, you know, it's about, you know, being consistent and about doing the things that you need to do, protecting yourself, protecting your peace, having people around you that matter. You know, I never want to leave this planet without having done something positive, without being fulfilled in my life. You know, I don't go by life just meaningless. I want meaning to my life, and I want, you know, to be something. Of course I want to be successful, I want to make a lot of money, but I also want to know that I did something. You know, I'm more than just a face. There's more to me than just, you know, I love taking care of myself. I love getting pretty, even though quarantine has me all messed up, guys. I really tried today, but, you know, I'm trying, you know, but I don't want to be just a pretty face or a pretty Instagram picture. I want to be more than that, and I would invite you to be that. You know, be more than just what's on the outside. Be, you know, have meaning, have relations, and just be the best version of you. So I just wanted to share that, and I thought it was a fun little project. And if you want to buy a butterfly kit, let me know and I'll send you the link. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if there's anything I want you to take away from this video, is just you can get to be whatever you want to be as long as you're consistent, you trust God or the universe or whatever your beliefs are, and you're just, you know, consistency, and protect yourself and protect your peace. You know, nothing comes before knowing that you're doing something right, and protect and something good for yourself. You know, if you treat others good and if you treat yourself good, then you will have success in anything that you put your consistency into. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that's it.